Hi friends, it's Lori and welcome to my floral shed. So today is going to be a video that's going to cover over multiple days. So this is the first day of my January reset in the flower shed. So last year I did a video cleaning out this space. I went through all my containers and really just downsized, took a whole box of things to Goodwill. And I'm going to do that again this year, but I'm also going to do a couple other things to really just continue to evolve this space and make it super functional. Now this is a tiny, tiny shed that we purchased and had installed when we moved onto our property 5 years ago. And about 3 years ago, I took it over as a little flower shed and I love it. I'm able to come out here and work, to sit. It stays cool in the summer because it's pretty, it's in the shade garden. I use it for making floral arrangements, for my photography, and for potting and just puttering. But it's gotten a little cluttered and it needs a refresh. And there's a couple other things that I want to do. So let me just walk you through the space, what we're going to do today and what's going to come. And I'm going to layer this video so you're going to get to see all the days that it took for me to get this space reset for the new year. All right, so in day one, I am just absolutely cleaning out and organizing. So I've already started a box for some items that'll go to Goodwill, and I'm just putting things kind of all in one spot, kind of get things straight. So that's, I think you have to make a mess before you clean up. The big changes that we're going to make, number one, today I'm going to clean out this cabinet. So this cabinet is fantastic. I think someone made it maybe for a store. It would be great to house seeds. You could label it. I just don't grow enough seeds to need this. I've loved having it here, but it gets really cluttered and it's not something that I'm using every day. The items in here I use as needed. So I've got tape and wire cutters, floral tape, paint brushes, all kinds of stuff. But what I'm going to do today is actually clean it out. I'm going to save the things that I need and I'm going to trash the trash and put the things in the donate pile. My plan is to remove this. It is a heavy piece. It's not screwed in. It's super sturdy and I'm going to use it underneath a work table or over in the corner. It's still going to house those items that I want on hand, but it doesn't need to be up here taking up potting space. So I'm going to move it and I think it's going to be much better. It's going to give me more room to work, more room for things, and I may add some shelving. I think I'm going to do a hook behind here for my handy tools. I want to hang some baskets. So this potting bench area is going to get a refresh. So today, again, number one, clean this out. Look like a lot, but you know these things take a while. So I'm just going to get after it and I'll put this on fast speed. I'll let you know what I got done in day one, and then I'll see you again in day two of the flower shed refresh. All right, let's get started. Well, that took about 20 minutes to get that cleaned out, and I didn't have as much trash as I thought. So I've got 2 bins full of things, but it was good to see everything that I had. So I have a lot of glue sticks, craft items, a ton of tape, floral items, water bottles, disposable gloves because I wear those when I'm working with something that could be toxic because I have all kinds of allergies, some seed things. I think actually once I put it back, I can consolidate some things. All right, so my last step, I do have time. I'm going to go ahead and clean out this bottom shelf. I do not use anything under here. I do use the picnic basket from time to time, but I want to make it more functional. Now, this large battery is an outdoor battery that we do use. It is hooked up to a solar panel. I think it's dead right now because our solar panel crashed during the last windstorm, but it does give me a little bit of power, and it definitely works in the summertime. But everything else down here, I really need to clean out and go through. Okay, well, we had day one success. It doesn't look like a lot. I still have all these piles, but we got this part cleaned out. Now, I'm going to give it a great sweep. This whole space needs to be swept, but somebody's taken my broom, so I'm going to have to find that. So again, it's part one, so don't be scared. I promise it's going to come together. But I got this cleaned out, got the bottom cleaned out. I have a bucket of trash recycling items. I have a small pile for Goodwill, and I'm not going to take it to Goodwill until I'll continue to add to it as I go through other containers. Once I move this to its permanent spot, I'll be able to get a lot of these things put back in. I will probably show you that once it's finished. So that's going to do it for today. Stay tuned for part two. Okay, so I was able to get the cabinet moved and I put it down here. I think it's going to be just fine. These are items that I don't use every day, but as I come in the shed, I can grab something if I need it. So I tried to organize it with all my floral things, seeds, stuff on this side. I do use these blue gloves, so they're right here at the door. I also have some mosquito stuff and some Felco cleaner. And then I've got glue sticks, paint stuff, all those kinds of things. Now I may rearrange. I'm probably going to take this basket off, put it somewhere else, and I'm going to get a container that I could put my Felcos in at the end of the day, because I really don't need to keep them outside. I am the worst at leaving them outside, and mine are constantly rusted and I'm constantly having to clean them. So I think this will be a great kind of come in the door spot. And I definitely can get a container to put the Felcos there. But I was able to empty both of the baskets, and there's still some things on this bottom shelf. I actually want to get a small basket for just to kind of hide. Those are things really I don't ever use. The glue gun, occasionally, it's too big for one of the cabinets. So I am sure I've got a basket lying around here, and I will grab it and get that all fixed up. So that part is done. So now I'm going to wait till tomorrow when it's warmer. I'm also going to see if I can get a heater out here because I want to start work on the doors. So you can see the holes where we originally had this as a tool kind of wall, and I do want to go ahead and fill those in. It will look so much better when I go to paint. So I'm going to get that kind of primed, and then I'm hoping in 2 days I'll be out here to paint. I need to measure. I want to order a bar with hooks for the top of this shelf, and I do need to get a ladder, and I want to clear that top shelf out. I'm going to do something different there, and I think that's it for right now. My table is slowly getting more cleaned up. So I emptied all these. This crate is almost empty. I've got these that need to get cleaned. So I just need to put some stuff in the trash, but I'm almost about to have this cleaned off, which is great because my goal here was to simplify and kind of clean out. So I think I'll call this half of phase 2. Tomorrow I'll come out and finish these doors when it's a little bit warmer and the putty can really dry. Just wanted to give you a quick update. So today it's pretty simple. I'm going to be using it's a plastic wood filler. It's all-purpose wood filler, easy water cleanup, and I've just got some tiny holes. These holes are not very deep at all. My husband had some little hooks in here when he used to do this as kind of a workspace where he hung his screwdrivers and all those things. We've moved those to our basement. So I just need to fill those because I want it to look nice once I paint it. While this is drying, I'm going to go ahead and do a first coat on the trim, the post, and this side, which has already been painted once. So I'm hoping my dark green paint goes over it really nice and smooth. So today I'm using actually a pretty nice quality paint. It's in a matte finish. It's by Benjamin Moore. I love Benjamin Moore paint. We have this dark green color. It's actually my office and my husband's office. And I love this color. It's a really, really dark green. So I think it's going to do a couple things. It's going to give the illusion of some depth in the space, and it's going to give a nice backdrop. So I use this space for photography, videos, and I just think this dark green is going to really work. I tried this light blue and it just doesn't work well in photos or video, and so I think I'm going to do the dark green. It'll also kind of match the whole kind of theme of the putting shed. We changed the doors to green this year, and with the garden being in the shade garden, I think it's going to be really pretty. So this is part 2. Let's go. So I'm going to use my disposable gloves. I love having these around out in the garden because if you're dealing with something toxic or sticky, you don't want to mess up your work gloves. These are just so good. So just going to pop these on. I don't know. I'm kind of a messy crafter, so I'm only assuming I'll probably be making a mess with this as well. All right, I think I'm just going to use my finger, try to kind of squeeze it in, and then I've got one of these tools, and I'm just hoping it goes pretty easy. Well, that was super easy. I just put a little bit in, it's filling it, so I think this can happen really quick, and I don't even think it's going to take 2 hours to dry. So if you've never done filling some holes, especially on wood, this stuff is going to just kind of work like a dream. So I'm just going to push some up, and I think it's easier to use my finger and just kind of come in and fill that hole. All right, that's all there is to it. I'm just going to keep going using both tools. All right, so I'm ready to get started painting. This is the color, and in case you ask, it's Salamander by Benjamin Moore, and once it's on, it is a very dark green, and in some lights it looks a little blue. So it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like here. Down in my husband's office, it almost looks like a black green. In my office that gets light, it sometimes looks a little blue, green, teal, sometimes real dark green. So I am going to wear a mask just because I'm in a small space. I do have the door open, the windows open. Luckily it's warm today, but I'm sensitive to smells of any kind. So I'm just going to wear that to make sure that I'm not breathing in any fumes and can get this job done. So let's get started. I'll show you what the paint looks like, and then I'll put it on fast speed. All right, everybody, so that's the first coat. As it dries, it's going to get really dark. And then I'm sure on this new wood, well, it's not new wood, but on this wood, I'm going to need a second coat. I'm not sure about this door panel. We'll see, but I'm expecting to do a second coat on all of it. Okay, so here is the paint job. It's still wet. I just did a second coat. It took about 20 minutes to do the second coat, which is always easier than the first. Now, I'm sure out there in YouTube land, you're thinking I should have primed it to make everything consistent, but I did not have primer. It is an outdoor little flower shed. I want it to look antique and rough, so it does not need to be perfect. This is just an outdoor flower potting shed. So I'm going to take the paint indoors so it can stay warm enough. It was starting to get a little thick, which can happen to paint when it's around 50 degrees. I'm going to let this just dry today, tonight, tomorrow, probably half a day. And I'll probably get back out here in a day or two, see if it needs a third coat, touch it up. And then the fun will begin and we'll get to start getting this space all ready for spring. I've got lots of things I want to do to make this a really usable working space. And I've got lots of things to put away. So I'll bring you along for phase 3. And at the beginning of phase 3, I'll show you what this paint job looks like. Again, the color is salamander. Don't judge it just yet. It's a beautiful color and it gets dark, really rich. It's a very rich, dark color. Hi everybody. Okay, the paint job is all finished. I did have to come in and do a third touch up. So there were just a couple spots around the doors that weren't quite right. The color is so rich. I'm going to see if I can darken the phone camera. Really tries to brighten it. So there we go. It is a true dark green. I would say it's more of a forest green than a hunter green. It is very dark. You probably can see the color the best down here. It's called salamander and it's in the matte finish and I just love it. It goes, when it dries, it is a beautiful finish. When it goes on, it is very scary. It just does not look like the color. I've had that experience with a lot of their paints. You just have to let it dry. But this one is just an outstanding color. So today's project is all about getting some things hung up that will make it easy for me. I'm going to clear off this top rack because I want to do something different. So next is just going to be staging it all and bringing it to life. So I am really pleased with how the paint turned out. All right, friends, she is all finished. I am so over the moon excited about this space. I inherited this space three and a half years ago. And when I did, it used to be just a true workshop shed. It wasn't finished. So we finished it out and I felt like I shoved it full of stuff. I was trying to put everything in here. And what I've realized is keeping it simple and make it really usable. I think I'm going to love this space this year. Last year, I really didn't use the space very much. And I think it was just too crowded, too overwhelming. So a second thing is moving the seed rack just was a game changer. Now I have this full potting bench. It also gives the space room to breathe. And I think in a small space, that's really important. So I think the second or third component that really made an impact is painting it this really deep dark green. This is, of course, one of my favorite colors. It's salamander. I love the matte finish. I just think this gave it depth. It's just calming for me. I love the deep green. I think it'll be really useful. And I'm just loving it. So overall, cleaning up was amazing. Probably the fourth component that made this space so great was covering underneath. I just never thought to do it, and it was so cluttered when you walked in the door. Now, I did clean out underneath, Most everything that was in here before has been moved or relocated. I only kept the things that I really, really needed. So I'm excited to know that this space is cleaned up and I actually know what's under there. It's some of my larger baskets, some larger pots, my picnic basket. I also have a battery shop vac, and that's really it. So it's great to know that those bigger things are here and I actually have room. What I've committed to is if I don't use those items this year, I think they need to go to Goodwill. I tried to save just my favorites. I also was able to clean out my big container that houses all of my containers and different garden tools. And so that also made me feel lighter and much better about it. I got rid of an entire box of vases and containers that were antiques that someone else can use. Many of them I had gotten at the thrift store. So I've just kept the ones that I like. So I wanted to just give you the final view today. I'm in love with the space. The potting bench is now kind of divided. I'm going to keep my potting space over here. I've got an old drawer full of some utensils. And then this area, I've got my Lazy Susan that I like to do floral arrangements on. So I'm just going to keep it stored over here. I do still have my books, and I've kept out here the books that I use for floral arranging. So I think that's going to be really fun. So let me give you a full 360 tour as we wrap today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the shed refresh, and that maybe it inspires you to take a small space and refresh it to really help bring joy to your life and to make gardening even more fun, even if it's a small outdoor potting table. I am going to do another video on all the gadgets that I added. There were some things that I've added to this space. There's also some new tools that I've added to the space to make it easier. I do not have electricity out here. So I've added an incredible light. I've added some battery things. I added some rods. I just want to walk through some of the gadgets in case you are thinking about changing up a space, some ways that I've organized it. So stay tuned for that video if you're interested. So thanks for this journey. I love it. I cannot wait to get out here. If this weather would warm up in February, but I'm sure it's going to be March before I can be out here every single day. All right, let's do that quick 360 tour, and then I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.